Hi, everyone. This is the Flourish 5. In about 5 minutes, you get to know and love Black-owned brands with us here on Flourish. And I have with me now Olivia Scott. She is the creator. She's the founder of Freedom at the Mat. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Letitia. It is a blessing to be here today. And it's also a blessing to be a part of the Flourish family. I love what you guys are building. And I'm really excited to be one of the vendors that is selling, or the merchant selling through Flourish. So thank you.
Absolutely. We are so glad to have you. And, you know, the first thing I found about your brand story, right, the inspiration behind Freedom at the Mat, is how you came to the mat, how you found your freedom at the mat. Really, can you share that story to us?
Yes. Just divorced, 2014, was living in New York. Life was crazy and was in a new relationship with this new guy and was having a lot of challenges, like just kind of adjusting from divorce and new boyfriend. And I was always mentally, I felt consumed with my issues around men and boys and whatever. I was at the Asheville Yoga Festival in Asheville, North Carolina. I happened to be in a class taught by Rusty Wells, an amazing yoga teacher, Bhakti yoga teacher. And he had us in some poses, some pretty difficult poses. And he was like, you know what? Don't even worry about that issue. The issue you're thinking about right now, he's like, I want you to leave that at the mat today. And he's like, I want you to really think about it, what you're going through, and, you know, push through it, whatever. And it was kind of like challenging us at the mat. And I was like, you know what? I'm leaving this ish at the mat today. I'm not walking away with it. And I really went deeper into my mind, body, and spirit connection in that moment. And I felt a sense of freedom. I felt like I can walk off of this mat. This mat is my sacred space. But when I get off of it, I can make a decision to kind of walk away from it. But this has been my sacred space. And so I literally got home to New York. And I was up all night writing a PowerPoint because I dream in PowerPoint, and I wrote everything out. I sent it to my church. They said, yes, we would love for you to feature Freedom at the Mat. And it was basically offering classes, Freedom at the Mat classes to women in Harlem at no cost through our church community center called the Dream Center, essentially. And it really wasn't affiliated with FCBC, but that's a whole other point. But the bottom line is that was what I started as, was wanting to support other women in creating a destination, a safe space for them. Living in New York City, Letitia, in 600 square foot apartments, we all know that we don't have a lot of space. Mm-hmm. Many of us are in various relationships, and the husband or the boyfriend could be in the next room. And so the thought there was, if all you have is a mat, and that's all you have in your home, because that's all you have is like, you know, 24 by 72 square inches. If that's all you have, how can you use that space to free your mind and free your spirit and also exercise your body?
That is so good. And it reminds me, you know, I was going through your offerings and looking at your website. You say time and space, create space to breathe, connect our spirits and thoughts with the inner divine combined with physical movement. You go on to talk about safety and community, and just the way that you see and communicate the experience of yoga is so beautiful. And you almost forget that it's a form of physical exercise, right? You make it spiritual and healing. Yeah. And that is so, so refreshing. And now people can buy into that, right? In an actual product. So your kit is on Flourish. Yes, so what are people, I know they're buying more than just the product, but walk us through the products and what else are they buying into when they order this from you?
Yeah. And I should bring that back. So one of my main issues that I'm having with the wellness industry as it continues to grow as an industry is that there is this notion, Letitia, that people have to reach outside of themselves to buy wellness.
Come on, somebody.
Right. So I want to be very clear. Our content, our YouTube channel, which has over 3,000 subscribers and 160 videos, we offer affirmations, meditations, readings, spiritual readings, and yoga videos at no cost. And our goal with that content is truly to be a safe haven and to be a resource. If there is a sister, I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, and I always say when I go home or when I'm in Mississippi and I see people who are in dire poverty, we go to Africa, we go to the Caribbean, but if we just go to like the rural parts of the US and we see our brothers and sisters who are on the survival bus every day, and there's a sister who may not be able to get to a yoga studio. She may not be like us in New York, where she's like, I'm going to spend $30, have the luxury of time and money on a yoga class at a studio. So I want her to be able to find the readings, the affirmations, the meditations, and the yoga classes. Yeah. And so all that will remain free. The content that we provide, it's very intentional in freeing us mentally, emotionally, spiritually, relationship. We get all into physical maladies, whether it's diabetes, high blood pressure, et cetera, right? Yeah. And so if we shift into the actual products from the content, the products really are there to help us support the ongoing production of our content, but there's also purpose there. For those who want to support us and like the work that we're doing with our content we're providing to the world, our wellness content, we are offering 15% of all of our profits to organizations, nonprofit organizations that benefit girls and women and the health and wellness of those women. So for us, it was like we didn't feel like we just wanted to be a business to make more money. Right? That didn't feel good with this whole notion of wellness. We want to make wellness accessible. So it didn't feel right to us to just create a company where we're like, we're going to sell you $200 yoga mats and $100 water bottles. That never felt good to us, right? What always felt good was, okay, we're going to set ourselves up as a benefit corporation, which we are in Louisiana, and 15% of all of our profits go back to, and we have 5 organizations. We started with 821, New Orleans Family Justice Center, the Dream Center of Harlem, Tala Salud in Puerto Rico, and the Grace House of Memphis, all organizations that support women's health and wellness from a different lens. So Grace House is for women who suffer with substance abuse. My sister succumbed to substance abuse 3 years ago. And so understanding that there are women who are fighting mentally with themselves, their demons every single day and fighting addiction. So if those women had a mat, where would they be? Would they be better off, right? You've got Tala Salud, which is an organization in Puerto Rico that supports underprivileged Black women in Puerto Rico in the same way. What if those women from a daily survival, if they had a mat? So I can go on and on, but each of the organizations was chosen very specifically and strategically. And we specifically support women who are struggling with substance abuse addictions, with domestic violence, and with sex trafficking. So that's who we support through the 15%. And we just want to basically allow for Freedom at the Mat to be a portal, if you will, and a vehicle to be able to support wellness content as well as the benefit. Because there are some women who are like, you know what? I have a yoga mat, but these yoga mats are beautiful. And that's what's different. I'll get into it really quickly. The difference with our mats is they are designed. They're amazing. They have beautiful art on them. So each of our designs is beautiful and custom designed by an artist of color. That's number one. And number two, they're thicker mats and they're also anti-slip. What we noticed in teaching for about 5 years now is that many of the people who end up following me, because I am 48 years old, they're between 35 and 54 years old. So they have wrist issues. They may have knee issues. They may have more weight on their bodies. They want a thicker, more substantial mat, and they want one that is anti-slip. So we have anti-slip properties for all of our mats, and they're all premium quality, 5 millimeter, which just means they're thicker than like a thin, flimsy mat that, when you put your weight into it, you're like, you feel it.
Yes. And what else comes with that kit? When they order to get the mat?
Candle and my journal. So I have a guided journal. The guided journal, it's 106 pages. And very specifically, I know that if you give an average person an empty book, a notepad, they're like, what do you want me to do with this? And so for beginner self-care people, if you're like, I just don't know where to start, this guided prompted journal, which includes mind, body, and soul, this book will help you. And people have really been loving the journal.
Yes. And I bet the combination of the three is it just feels like a nice starter kit, right? You've got your mat, you got your candle, your journal. But really on top of that is, like you said, it's the portal into, first of all, giving and investing into these communities and these organizations, which is like, I mean, for that alone, I almost just want to buy it as a gift to someone that, so that we can contribute to the greater vision for freedom at the mat. I think it's a wonderful gift, right? For someone who may be a yogi in your family or a friend. And once they hear about all that you believe and what you're doing, I think for yogis especially, they would love to contribute to something like this, right? So we're just blessed to have you on this platform. I think it's so unique. And it's just so much more. Everyone on our platform has a story, right? And they have a deeper connection to their products. Yeah. No one on Flourish is just like, every time I ask that question, it's something that surprises me. And it's something that's deeply resonates with the founder. And so you are not alone in having this founder story. And I just think that more people just need to know about you. So that's why you're here on Flourish. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
You stay on your road, man. You stay on your path. Eventually things will begin to flourish for you.
Flourishing.
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 Flourishing and doing well.